All right, football fans, we are back at Pay Dirt. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, a.k.a. B Dirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. What's going on, Pay, in the ATL?
What's up, B, man? What's happening?
I wish I had your weather right about these days. You bundled up like you got cold down there, but I know better.
I'm just trying to fit in, man. It's really not that. It's really not that cold. It said it was gonna be cold, but I forget. Down here, 50 degrees does not feel like the 50 degrees that I'm used to.
Oh, that wind off the lake.
Yeah,
That's
that's why I dressed like this. And I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be 50. I know what to do. I'm pulling out the hoodie, and I get outside. Yeah, I could have wore shorts.
Yeah, Chi-Town 50 is a little different. It hits a little different. Pittsburgh was nice today, man. I mean, it hit 60 over here today. I ain't gonna complain, but short-lived, my friend. Here comes the fall, early winter weather coming soon. But hey, for those of you reaching out to us via YouTube, hit that thumbs up, share us with a friend, get that those first notifications. Check us out, and if you're listening to us on a podcast, whether that's Apple Pod, Google Pod, I don't know if Stitcher's still around, not sure yet, but Spotify definitely is. So if you listen to us on any of those, again, subscribe, give us those 5-star reviews, share us with your friends. Each one, share one with somebody else. We're doing pretty good these days. So I started with a measly 10 units in my account there on DraftKings, and now I have 80 units and some change. So we're doing pretty good, man. We're doing pretty good. I keep going back and forth with all my my moving around the country here with work and whatnot. But I know we got the Ohio. I hit the Ohio State minus 31. I hit Utah plus 9.5. I hit that Steelers minus 3. Never a doubt. I hit Pickens over 43.5 passing yards. So I had a pretty good day. I had was it 6-2? I think I was there. Not too shabby.
I hit my Thursday night football parlay. And
then you're sledding downhill after you hit the parlay before you even get the weekend started, though.
My Saturday, Florida State, you got me. I was up 3 games. I had the Iowa under. I had Michigan beating Penn State. I had Bama covering at 11. All I needed was Florida State to beat those partly cloudies. Covered at 14, and they couldn't do it for me. 3 out of 4 on that side, though, man.
Yeah, I also had the Rutgers Iowa under. I went on the avoid train with that under 73.5 USC Oregon. Should have just trusted the process. If it's around that 70 mark, just take the under, right?
Right.
Panthers, Bears.
In the field,
we both hit that because you took the Bears money line. And the under, and I took the Panthers plus 3.5 in the under. Rare that you take the opposing teams and we both win, but that's what we do here on Peter. This is how we get it done.
Yeah, I take it.
Things are going pretty well, and I'm feeling a little bit of more on Saturday. You're feeling a little more on Sunday. We both like a little bit on Thursday night, so. Without further ado, we'll jump right into that, Pay.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Thursday night. My Bengals are going to Baltimore in a backs against the wall must-win divisional game. Historically, the Bengals in the past 3 years, I will say the Burrow era, when their backs against the wall, play very well and find a way to win. Historically, the Ravens don't lose back-to-back divisional games at home, especially not to the Bengals and the Browns. So something's got to give. How do you see it going down in Baltimore here?
Historically, since Lamar Jackson took over as full-time starter for the Baltimore Ravens, they are 13-4 after following a loss with Lamar as the quarterback for the following weekend, obviously. So a lot of historical trends heading into this game. You pointed out one for your Bengals. Historically, this is what they do. This is the third straight year they started the season 5-4. And you already know probably better than most that the last 2 years have been pretty good for Cincinnati. They've ended pretty well. So here we go again. Baltimore, it's going to be who's going to bust whose trend. Baltimore going to lose 2 games in a row with Lamar as a starter. Cincinnati going to go to what would this make it, 5-6?
5-5.
5-5.
Yeah, we're 5-4 right now. We got one less game than they haven't had their bye yet for Baltimore.
The way I call it,
yeah, that's right.
It's dealing with anything Baltimore the last few years. It's really just this: do you feel like Baltimore can play 60 minutes this game? If you do, put your money on them. They're almost a safe bet. If you do not think they can gut it out for a whole 60 minutes, you probably want to be a little bit more cautious. You did hit it right. This is a game that they probably was looking ahead to after halftime against the Browns. They probably thought that game was over, and then they end up getting their rear ends popped. So I think they're going to be refocused, and I think they're going to handle business. Now, do they cover that 3.5? I'm not too certain, man. How do you see that as far as the spread goes?
Well, I'll tell you this: in the past 5 meetings, this will be 6, I think. And since 2021, this is the year we went to the Super Bowl. Since we've had Chase and the guys around, they have a covered 3.5 point spread. They being Baltimore against the Bengals. Since then, they've won 2 games, one by 2 points and one by 3 points. So I'm looking at the Bengals at plus 3.5. Even if, let's say there's a 10-point lead late in the game, I think the Bengals know that their season's on the line. They're going to scrap, crawl, whatever they can do to get the ball in the end zone one last time, try to get an onside kick. So could be a backdoor cover situation if Baltimore's winning the game. Could be. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, would you be shocked if the Bengals pulled up, the upset here? Like, I don't know. I would give them a 40% plus chance to win. So I don't like the win, even though I took them. I think I took them because I partially have to in my heart. But I like that 3.5. I really do, with my money. My money and my heart don't have anything to do with each other. So I'm putting this in a parlay, though. So I'm going 1.5 units on a 4-teamer. Don't do that very often. On a 4-part same game parlay. And I'll tell you why. The last 3 just fairly mobile quarterbacks have hit this over. Joe Burrow's got over 13.5 yards rushing. Last week they gave up 37. They tend to blitz a lot, and I think Burrow can get off of his spot now. He's healthy, he's running, and he does not hesitate to take off. I wouldn't be surprised if he covers that 13.5 yard spread in one scramble. I think he'll get rid of the ball enough to not get too many sacks where it goes backwards. I think he goes over that 13.5 yards rushing by Joe Burrow. And then the next one I have is pro Ravens. The last 3 weeks combined, the Bengals are giving up an average of 8 catches for over 100 yards to tight ends. George Kittle's the only one out of that group that's on the same level or even close to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews over receiving yards, 54.5. I think that he might have that in the first half. And anytime touchdown for Mark Andrews is plus 145. I'm putting all those in for a really nice payout at a plus 1,200.
Plus 1,200. That's almost like a lottery ticket there, B. I mean, I like it. I like it. Those four legs aren't disagreeable, so I have really nothing anti to say about that. Yeah, I'm with you there as far as like you have to take your team because I mean you have to. The 3.5, the history board is right. This is one of those black and blue divisions. It's very rarely is it anything out of the game is out of reach for either side. 3.5 sounds like a good take for the underdog there.
The only time it's been over that in the past 3 years, outside of a one-score game, that is when Lamar Jackson hasn't played. Period.
Okay. I like those stats. And with that information, I'm going to take Baltimore on the money line. I can't trust them. I can't trust them to do anything as I expect them to do. They have to earn that trust back. So, but I do think they should win this game. They are the healthier team. They've been the better team for stretches of the season. Their defense is still very, very, very good against quarterbacks. I don't think the Bengals running game is potent enough to give them really real trouble. So all signs point towards a bounce back and Baltimore winning this game. I'll take that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do see your points there. Even when the run game for the Bengals is getting over 4 or 5 yards a carry, for whatever reason, play calling doesn't stick to it. They go away from it. We had average 4.2 yards a carry last week. You know how many times we ran the ball? 11.
Good old 11. Good old Kyrie Irving. Okay. Another one that I like. I'm surprised you didn't put this in your parlay. Over under 46.
Yeah.
Now, last week I said there was no chance in hell Baltimore and Cleveland was going to go over 38.5. They went over it by a good margin. 2 of those were defensive scores. You can never account for those. This one's at 46.5. I remember one time I think that was in the playoff game. The only touchdown was a defensive score, if I'm not mistaken, by Sam Hubbard. Yeah, he's not playing this week, is he?
Not playing.
Not playing.
T. Higgins not playing.
Trey Hendrickson
is. They said he's playing now.
Okay. I kind of like the under on this one, man. I kind of do.
That was my first reaction. 4 out of the last 5 have been over 46 points when we played each other. There was the 17-19 game. That's regular season I'm talking about. Playoffs are always a little different.
You know what? I'm going to say, you're right. You've convinced me. I'm staying off this. I'm staying off this over-under for this thing, for these two teams. You know why? Because they have respectable offenses. I'm gonna save my AFC North under for when Pittsburgh plays.
And listen, if you would have saw us play Houston Texans last week, I don't know how you could take an under against us. I mean, they had guys running wide open through the field. Like, they weren't throwing people open. There's just nobody within 7 yards of the receiver. It was, I don't know. It was bad. So hopefully we don't see that again this week. All right, so that's enough for Thursday night football. Let's go over into the college realms. I'll get us started. We'll take a real quick shot at this and get it moving. I'm playing the odds here. I don't care what the over-under is. I'm taking Iowa Hawkeyes hosting your Illinois Fighting Illini under 30.5. Don't care. I don't care what it is. I honestly, if they make this 10, I'm taking the under just to see if I can win it. It's worth
I had a question.
Bet. It's worth a unit.
I had a question bet. I had a question mark on this game. Is this the week? Is this the week that finally happens?
I thought the same thing, but I'm not. I can't. Listen, when you're playing blackjack, you play the odds.
And you just run with it.
I'm betting this. I'm betting the Iowa Hawkeyes just like I bet the odds.
They got close last week.
They did. They flirted.
They flirted last week. Iowa actually put up 22.
The Pittsburgh Hawkeyes hit the over, so didn't they? No, wait, did they go under too?
I believe that did go under.
I don't know, man. I can't do it. I'm taking the under on that one.
Hey, I am not disagreeing with you at all. It's a little, man. I don't want to be stuck holding the bag when it bops, you know. F it. Put me in on this one too. I'm going with you.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm going with you, man.
Hey,
so,
I guarantee you, if you just keep riding it all the way out, by the end of the year, you're gonna have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Put a unit all year on under on Iowa games.
As long as Kirk Ferentz is there, why not?
Yeah, next year we'll have to reevaluate. This year, I'm in. I'm in. I'll tell you what, I do have one other one I want to get to real quick because I'm going to get a bounce back bet for you on your behalf because they did you wrong last week by putting in a new quarterback and giving themselves a chance. Quarterback's hurt, so they're going back to Old Faithful. I got Louisville going into Miami at -1, and I take Louisville to come out of there with a W. Cover that spread.
You're reading off my sheet here. Maybe I was chasing. I have Louisville also winning that game. I don't. Miami's not that good. They got. They had a stroke of luck last week. I do feel Louisville can beat them, and I think Louisville will beat them. They are going to continue starting Van Dyke. Van Dyke he's done. He's done at this level. I've got Louisville also winning that game.
Yeah, TVD sounds a lot like TBD. They'd be to be discontinued.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I think this is going to be one of those things. Louisville at the end of the year going to turn around, look in the mirror, and say, "How did we lose to the Pitt Panthers?" I mean, after beating Notre Dame, dragging them in the mud, laid an egg against Pitt. But neither here nor there. You like anything else on Saturday?
I had a question. I was scrolling through DraftKings, and this game flew off the computer screen. North Carolina is a 7-point dog, capital D, to Clemson. I was floored. I was like, what do they know? What kind of information? Because 7 points, that's a large number for Clemson. Clemson ain't been that good in, 3 years?
Yeah, they got the running game back on track now. They've looked a little better the past couple weeks. Dabo's got his swagger back, that's for sure.
I don't trust it.
It's one of those things when you read it, it's like, what do they know? I don't know.
Exactly.
Right? If I was going to bet that though, I would take a small, like 1 unit bet, something around there, and I would take it straight on the money line. Because I think if North Carolina covers the 7, they probably win.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I saw that number. This reminds me of that large one I hit. That large parlay I hit last year. The one underdog on that parlay, the one underdog leg I had TCU versus Texas. They had TCU, who was in the national championship game, as I believe there was a 7-point dog. I pulled that up and said, no, there's no way. No way. TCU smoked Texas. I feel like this is in that same breath. I just don't think Clemson should be carrying that type of line versus North Carolina. North Carolina, they stumbled what? They lost to unranked Georgia Tech. Okay, yes. They've had another loss. That was a better loss than that Georgia Tech loss, but still, Grant, they have 2 losses. Clemson, nah, man, you gotta show me something better than that. To have a 7-point favorite against the team that's ranked, mind you. I think I want to take that, man. I'm taking Carolina, as you said, win outright. They're going to cover that as well. I think the obviously the better money's in the spread, but I'm taking Carolina in that one, man. I just don't. I don't believe it. You got to show me why. I'm again. One unit. Show me why Clemson deserves that type of respect. I need to see it.
Yeah, I have another game, and this is kind of a question. Rutgers plus 20.5 at Penn State. Penn State just fired their OC.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State's defense looked fairly good rushing quarterback in the first half of that Michigan game. So what did Michigan decide to do? You know what? We're going to take the air out of the ball. We're not going to throw it anymore. And they ran for 227 yards against the number 1 ranked rushing defense in the country. What can Rutgers do offensively? Because that over-under at 41, I don't know. I kind of like the under. I kind of like the Rutgers points. I think this might be something I tease. Take it up to 26.5. Penn State 47. I don't do teasers very often, but I kind of like teasing this one. What do you think?
I think that's playing with fire, man. I don't think Penn State gets beat the same way twice. Michigan's just a better team, flat out
Correct.
Better team than Penn State.
I agree. But I don't need them to get beat. I just need them not to win by 26.5.
Yeah, and I think Penn State will be. I think they'll be charged up, ready for that. I think they'll. I just gotta believe they would be. This isn't a big game. This isn't a game that James Franklin gets caught with his pants down. This is Rutgers. However, Penn State don't score. They've never scored. I mean, go all the way back to LeVar Arrington. They're not a scoring university. I can see where you're going with this. I'm not confident in it though, but hey, roll the dice. Roll the dice, my friend.
They did put up 51 against Maryland, but Maryland's defense is bad.
Very bad.
I don't know. I don't know. To be continued. Let me see how I feel about it.
That Newt Rockne offense only works for Michigan.
That's right. Anything else you got on Saturday, or are we going to give the good folks a break and go to Sunday?
So, last thing I was looking at for Saturday, Washington State.
I looked at that.
4.5-point fave over Colorado. If Colorado's going to get off the schneid, it's got to be this week. If they're going to beat that over, if they're going to put me in the loser bracket and get that over 5, they're going to have to do it this week. Because I don't see them. If they don't win this week, they're not winning no more else the rest of the season. If they're going to make themselves bowl eligible, they've got to start this week. I think they're mentally checked out.
Ooh.
Deion already said his boys are going pro. They've been getting their belt on the last month and a half. I think they're looking ahead, ready to get the season over with. They've proved their point early in the season. I think now it's like, okay, let's regroup. I got Washington State, man.
And they've already talked about who they're going to get next year. That's it's rough. Yeah, when they're trying to get rid of the offensive line, defensive line already, I could see them checking out. I'll tell you, their neighbors, the Washington State neighbors here, Washington are away dogs, getting 2.5 points undefeated going into Oregon State. I am a stay away from that game. The more I've watched them and the more I've got to see them, Penix has moments, but I really think the star of the show there is the wide receiver core. I think Washington's got a couple really good wide receivers. I think they do it more than he does it. I don't know which way to go with this one. I don't trust it at all. I'm staying away from it. I'm also staying away because of an erratic quarterback play and the hated hook. Texas giving 7.5 points to Iowa State. If it was 6, might play ball. 7.5, I can't do it.
I don't believe Washington goes undefeated. I don't see it happening.
I told you last week they've been trying to lose. I bet Utah plus the points, and I put a little something on that money line too because it was a good payout. Didn't get the money line, but I got the points. I got the big bet back. So,
yeah, man. If any, this would probably be the week that Washington loses, right? They are home. They are dogs going into Oregon State. So it's not like it's sneaking up on anybody. But if the casual observer is looking for the Washington to lose, they wouldn't suspect this game. And this is the type of game that throws everything in a wrench. Throws a wrench in everybody's plans. I can see Oregon State taking care of business here.
Yeah, and the public money is going to be on Washington. Because we're seeing an undefeated team getting 2.5 points. And most people that don't watch those, the East Coast bias that don't watch those games, but what they really know about that is that Penix was in the Heisman Trophy race and that Desmond Howard was yelling big Penix energy. That's basically what they know about it.
They don't know that he's almost 30 years old. So
yeah, he is a little long in the tooth for a college player. That's true. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, come right back at you with these Sunday picks, and get you all your way for another great weekend here with Pay Dirt. Back in the gym. All right, welcome back to Pay Dirt with Pay Saunders and me, Brandon Herriott, a.k.a. B Dirt. We gave you some good rundown, and we had some pretty good dialect. I think you probably talked me out of losing some money. Pay, I appreciate that. Again, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. It's about finding those value bets. Looking at that UNC plus 220 money line's a good value bet. Looking at some of the stuff we talked about Thursday Night Football with, what the Bengals giving up to tight ends. I don't see why you can't at least put those in your parlay, help build a kind of something that you want to reach for a little bit. What else do you see on Sunday, maybe even Monday, for the NFL tickets here, Pay?
So, we are the only NFL game we've talked about so far. AFC North. Let's stay right there for just a tad bit longer. You got Pittsburgh as a road dog against Cleveland. B, who's going to be quarterback for Cleveland this Sunday?
DTR.
A rookie, right?
Rookie.
How has Cleveland's offense looked with that rookie quarterback?
In the preseason, it looked better than it did in the regular season.
Right. It hasn't been impressive, right? You'll agree with me there.
Well, they went to Paul Walker. Was Paul? No.
Paul Walker.
But yeah, no. Rest in power. What's his name? What's his name? Help me out here.
Paul, the stadium. I can't think of his name, but
Paul Wall. No, Paul
Wall.
Come on. Yeah, but it wasn't DTR that was in there most of the time. Come on here. PJ Walker. There we go.
I thought you were talking about one of the names of the stadiums. PJ Walker. Yeah.
PJ Walker was starting for the Browns when
they beat San Francisco.
Yeah, when Juergens was out. But yeah, this is DTR, I think, taking the reins. Will it excite them? I don't know. Will they outgame the Steelers and still lose like everyone else? I don't know. I'm gonna avoid this game, dude. I want to take the under 33 because this is what you just ride with. This game's so confusing to me. I don't understand the Steelers.
I will say it again, and this is not shade to all of our black and gold listeners. The Steelers are playing well above their heads. Their record makes no sense. The numbers do not bore it out. I don't know what's to make of it. However, them being an underdog coming to this game, you need to rush to that. You need to go get that right now because that is free money. There's no way Cleveland wins this game. This is almost a pick 'em. You don't have that big. This is free. Like I said, it's free money. You don't have to pick this game on the money line. It's right there on the spread for you. Pittsburgh win the game. Pittsburgh's showing you all the season. They win games they have no business winning. Vegas. Well, the books tell you they have no business winning this game. They got them as a dog. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh 6-3 with a minus 26 point differential for the season. In 9 games. I'm staying away from it. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Cleveland's offense is almost as dreadful as Pittsburgh's offense. But the one thing about Pittsburgh's offense that I can tell you about, their running backs, Najee Harris in particular, he has looked a lot better over the last handful of weeks. But when they have to pass the ball, it's pretty much 3-yard pass to Warren, 3-yard pass to Warren. It's kind of boring. Oh, look. You got Pickens, flying wide open, making a circus catch. And, they get into the red zone and have to kick a field goal because they can't figure it out after that point. They'll do that all game and then snap out of it come fourth quarter and go on a 2-minute drill that'll make Tom Brady blush. This is why not again? Why not?
I don't know what. Let's take a look here. See some weather. Should be pretty good weather in Cleveland. I'm gonna tell you if you got any fantasy fans out there, out in fantasy world, and you're doing a 1 week fantasy or however you do those, whatever you're doing there. If you want somebody in this game, Chris Boswell is your man. Boswell is your man because he's probably going to kick 3 or 4 field goals. Other than that, I don't want to watch this game.
Come on, man. It's AFC Central. North.
Right. Listen, there's a lot of games. Not as many as last week. I'm betting a game I don't want to watch.
Okay. This was my free money tip. I got another one for you.
Back to chips. We're playing blackjack here. Until they prove me otherwise, I'm betting against, no matter what the spread is, the New York Giants are getting money against them every week. I don't care. I'm taking the Commanders -9.
Oh, that's an easy one. I think that spread's a little high because we got to remember this is DC we're talking about. They are prone to ridiculousness, but the Giants are, as you said, they are the Giants. They are not a good team. I expect Washington to win. The last time I said that was week 1, and they almost lost to the Arizona Cardinals. I do want to caution. +9 is a pretty high.
It is. Until they prove it otherwise. They were -17 and got smoked. Now, listen, I know that the Cowboys are better than the Commanders, but the Commanders, Sam Howell's looked good this year.
Sorry.
Against this team, I think he looks good again. I'm taking the Commanders.
I'm not mad at you, man. I got Commanders to win outright. I'm just a little cautious about that spread, but everything else checks out. Giants terrible. Commandos better. Let's go. My other free money observation going through these lines. Seattle is a 1-point favorite in their game against the blanking on it, against the Rams
in LA, and they're starting Stafford again.
I don't. You can bring back. You can bring back. I'm blanking on. You can bring back Kirk Warner to play for the Rams. I don't think the Rams could beat Seattle.
I thought you were going to go with Chrissy Everett.
That's a good one.
Jim Rome called him Chrissy.
Yeah, that's a good callback.
If you're too young to know that clip, look up Jim Rome calls Chris Everett Chrissy. It's hilarious.
Just put in Jim Rome Everett, and that'll be the first thing that pops up.
Yep.
He gets thrown out his chair. Yeah, I mean, Seattle's a 1-point favorite going down to LA, like you said. Matt Stafford's supposed to be back. I don't think Matt Stafford's the savior. I don't. They're off. This whole team is in transition from offense to defense. Nobody's playing stellar on that team. Not Kupp, not Stafford, not even Aaron Donald.
Well, and gripping a ball with a thumb injury is rough when you're when you're passing.
There's a lot of things you can't do when your thumb is broken.
Especially Matt Stafford throws some fastballs. I caught what you said. It's not Freaky Friday. You gotta leave that stuff for Big G. We're just gonna let it roll. On a Wednesday, we let it roll, man. It's hump day. We just let it roll.
Yeah, I mean, to keep in with the thing. I mean, trying to grip that the football and throw it in heat to Kupp, Nakua, and the rest of them. I don't believe it. I don't believe that he's ready to come back and win divisional games. Right? Seattle is just better. They've got their defense is I don't want to call them loaded, but they're pretty good. They can run the ball like anyone's business. Geno is still out there making smart plays and making the plays to win games. For my money right now, a better coach between these two teams is on the Seattle sideline. I'm taking Seattle, and they're only a 1-point favorite. So I mean, you don't have to risk much. They just got to win the game.
Yep. Yeah, I see that. I have a lot of I don't know games like the Cardinals and Houston. Houston 5-point favorites. Is that a trap game? After 2 really good weeks, I could see that. Could Kyler Murray run around enough and make enough splash plays to pull it off? Possibly. The Chargers at the Packers. I'd like to bet the Chargers +3 against the Packers, but does Brandon Staley figure out a way to lose that game? Maybe. I don't know.
That's
the Jaguars are -7 against the Titans. I guess they expect them to bounce back with a vengeance, huh? I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird games out there.
For the Houston Arizona game, D'Amico Ryans is pretty familiar with Arizona. I don't think they have gotten to the point yet where they're susceptible to trap games yet. It's still a young team. They're trying to put people on notice, and Arizona's just the next team in front of them. Kyler's back. James Conner's back. They both looked okay in their first game last week. I would have preferred if James Conner didn't kneel the ball at the 1. I would prefer to just punch it in, unlike what Josh Allen did on Monday Night Football, where he just ran it in when he should have stumbled at the 1 and ran some clock off. Thanks a lot, Joshy. But
Joshy.
I think Houston can win this game, man. Now 5, you need him to win by a touchdown. Stroud is playing unbelievable ball, and if you listen to me, I got Stroud as you know the favorite in the clubhouse for MVP. So I got them keep continuing to put teams on notice.
Anything else I mentioned there that you have feelings about? Because I'm stumbling. I don't know what to do with the Bills with getting rid of Dorsey. Everybody's screaming for McDermott's head, but the Jets look like hot doo-doo on offense.
Yeah, they do. They're better than the other team. They're better than the other team at East Rutherford. They're better than their roommates on offense. I tell you that much.
Very true. Very true.
My whole thing has been free money. Free money today. I've got you pointed this game out already. The Chargers versus the Packers. Will Brandon Staley find a way to lose a game? Is water wet? That's what he does. Ooh. Brandon Staley will figure out to lose a game in spectacular fashion, just like last week. It's back and forth. And, time for the Chargers to lose. It's like clockwork. But that's not the game I want to point out. That's a little too close to, a little too close to the line. Famous free money. Dallas, 10.5-point favorite, playing the 1-8 Carolina Panthers. You saw what Dallas did to a garbage team last week. They covered a 16.5-point spread like it was nothing. This time it's a 10.5-point spread. Again, I don't think there's a quarterback playing worse than Bryce Young this season. I don't think there's a team out there within 100 yards that's as bad as Carolina. Dallas, their defense is the real deal. Dak Prescott, if it wasn't for CJ Stroud in his own state, Dak Prescott would probably be leading MVP conversations right now. He's been amazing the last month, maybe month and a half. This is cake. 10.5-point spread. Gimme. But run to that before it goes, or they do something different. They take it off the board or something. Yes.
Cowboys in that unusual 1:00 window. I'll tell you what I'm going to do once that 1:00 window is over. I'm going to watch the witching hour, tally my bets. See you on Monday. I'm done with football. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday night. Now, I say that, but I'm going to have it on. I'm going to be watching it. But I ain't going to care. I'm not going to care about it. These games, these 4:00 games and Sunday night football, nah, it ain't.
Yeah.
How are we not flexing these games out on Sunday night yet? Just because everybody gave the guy a cute name, the Pastronaut, he's got That's one correct. Of the worst QBRs in the league. Like, come on, why do I gotta watch him and Russie?
He's magic.
Who's gonna be the first one with 185 yards passing? I don't care. Get him out.
Get him out.
Not my style. That's it, man. That's all I got for betting this week. My chips are in. You got anything else for the people?
No, man. Let's go ahead and we can call it there because we've got an early week next week. You got Thanksgiving, so let's pace yourself. Pace yourself because it's time. It's almost time for the holidays, and football on Thanksgiving is a national holiday. Do not mistake it. It's time to eat yourself silly and to gamble. So we can go ahead and close week 11, man. I'm good right there where we at. So we got stuff to do coming Thursday.
Yeah, I dig it, man. I'm a little emotional thinking about Thursday night football. We gotta have this one. Pay. See, my gambling hat went flying off there. Now I'm back to being a fan. I gotta get my bets in before I do something silly. All right.
Responsible gambling. If you know somebody who has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Let them all know. All right, those DraftKings picks are in. When I'm not traveling at home, I do a little bit on Rivers Casino app here locally too in Pittsburgh. But yeah, we're in, man. So catch us every week like you do. Bear Claw, I can't keep up with everywhere you're at. Bear Claw, Homies, Bulls on Parade. I'm gonna keep calling it that. That's not what it is.
The Bulls ain't had a parade in almost 30 years, but yeah, you're right. You're right. It's Shot City Bulletin Board, the Bear Claw Pod, and we got the Homies every Friday on the Steel Curtain Network. It's, find us, man. The Pay Dirt, running through the jungle.
Overtime on Fans First Sports Network. Overtime gets silly sometimes.
Very silly. Hashtag Hardball Hour.
I will apologize to everybody that's had to listen to me and Big G over the past 3 weeks just argue about Jim Harbaugh. Hopefully he'll stop because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't.
Bringing my pillow.
It is what
I'm bringing my pillow to the next taping just in case.
It's not the next one you got to worry about. It's the one after that.
That's true.
The one after that, I'll be coming remotely from Ann Arbor.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I might go sit right in front of the Big M.
Oh, that'd be clutch. That'd be clutch. Do that. In fact, do it. Whatever we got to do to make that possible. I got to send you a tripod. I got to send you lights. I got to send you a whole production crew. Just say it. I need that to happen.
I'll tell Jess. Jess gonna be with me. She'll be my production crew.
Yes. MVP Jess.
That's right. Well, hey, everybody out there, again, like, subscribe, thumbs up, share us with your folks. We appreciate you as always. Come get this money with us and catch us next week when we reach Pay Dirt.